Hey guys, Ryan from the Firearms Radio Network. I host the Gun and Gear Review podcast. Today I'm here in Western Washington up in the mountains reviewing the WGM-15. This is a AR-15 rifle from WGM Tactical down in California. So it's a carbine length. It's got billet receivers, and it's got some features on here that are kind of California specific. They got a bullet button here, which I have to say I love. Said no one ever. It's not my favorite. It's kind of a bummer. But besides that, it's got a key mod rail with nice rubber plugs to cover up the key mod ports you're not using. It's got a cool muzzle brake on there that you can unscrew this bushing, expose threads for a suppressor. It's got flip up iron sights that are kind of HK style, which are my personal favorite. It's got a 6-position collapsible stock from Hogue. Nice Hogue rubber cheek weld right there. And also the Hogue overmold pistol grip. It's got a nice conforming tacky grip. It's got a nice trigger in there. I'll tell you guys about that all later in the tabletop segment. But let's just get right down to the fun part. Let's just shoot the thing, huh? So it's a 1-in-8 twist barrel 5.56. Just shooting standard American Eagle 55 grain ball ammunition. Going hot. And that's 10. So obviously you need to use the tip of the bullet to pop the magazine out, which of course makes it far less deadly. Everyone knows that. Anyway, let's go on to the tabletop portion. Alright guys, we're back from the range taking a closer look at the individual components of the WGM-15 carbine. So we'll just go ahead and start from the back and work our way forward. For the stock, they chose a Hogue overmold 6-position stock. It's got a nice rubber overmold cheek riser, very all-weather. It's going to be comfortable in the winter. And it's going to be nice and cool in the summer. We're here in about 75, 80 degree heat, direct sunlight, and it's not too hot. It's obviously very comfortable on your face for your cheek weld. You've got your 2 QD sling mount options here on the tail and right there. Got your lever for collapsing. I chose to use a commercial size buffer tube extension instead of a mil spec. That way they can get a better fit between the stock and the buffer tube. Comes with a GunTech single point sling that attaches to a QD sling plate provided by LWRC. The charging handle is from Carbine Tactical. This is a oversized ambidextrous charging handle, which also has another function. It has gas ports on the side that redirect blowback gases away from your shooter's face. So if you're shooting suppressed ammunition, that suppressor adds a back pressure that often just blasts you in the face if you're shooting a regular AR-15. This charging handle will actually redirect those gases away and saving yourself some discomfort. The flip-up iron sights are low profile. It just flips up. The rear has a dual aperture. Folds down with a button. Same thing with the front. It's kind of a horseshoe style hood. It's kind of a HK style reminiscent. Folds down out of the way for your optic of choice. Get back to the receivers. These are 7075 aerospace aluminum made out of a billet of aluminum, which is going to have a better tensile strength and just overall structural integrity than a forged receiver. Let's take a look at the bolt carrier group here. Now this is nickel boron coated. This might look a little grimy. That's because this has shot 9,800 rounds without being cleaned, besides its initial lubrication when they were parting it together. So far it's been pretty reliable. Only had 2 failures that have yet to reproduce themselves or replicate themselves. I didn't have any problem with it whatsoever. So they're basically just trying to run this rifle till it fails. That's kind of the whole philosophy why they do not have a forward assist on the receiver, which I'll show you the other side in just a minute. The thinking behind that is if you need to use the forward assist to get around in battery, then something in the rifle went wrong. You know, either the rounds double fed or they didn't do something properly, and so you're having to manually get them in the chamber. Well, they didn't want to have that crutch, so they've kind of removed it. Before I put these 2 halves back together, I wanted to also show you guys something. There's a tension screw right here that they've installed, and you can access it when you've got the pistol grip removed. But that tension screw actually pushes up against the upper receiver and takes up all the slop that would be, even though there'd be minimal slop, it just makes these 2 halves more solid by adding a actual contact point between them, besides the 2 takedown pins. So that's kind of a nice feature. You do need a pin and some kind of punch and hammer to drive these pins out. The tight is so snug. So now let me snap this rifle receivers back on the bench, and I'll talk about the other side of the receiver. Alright, we got our receivers reassembled. Just had to take it over to the bench and tap the pin with a hammer lightly to get it to fit in there because the fit's so snug. Now we're going to flip it over. Check out the other side of the receiver. So you've got your anti-walk hammer and trigger pins. This prevents those pins from coming out. You've got a bullet button on this particular model that makes it California legal. Obviously WGM Tactical is out of California. They put this bullet button on the magazine release to keep it legal in their state. Obviously you're not in California, you don't have to worry about it, and you can order one that does not have a bullet button. How that works, just take a regular bullet, anything that has a tip that can get inside this button, and you press, then you can then pull the magazine right out. It does come with 2 hex mags. I'll show you that in the box later on. So you got an oversized trigger guard for shooting in the winter with gloved hands. The the trigger is adjustable. They have it set to 4 pounds for just regular civilians. They can do a 4.5 pound for law enforcement, military, and then they can do a 3.5 pound for more of a 3-gun competitive setup. So then moving forward, we got the handguard. It's a carbine length with a key mod system. It is pre-floated with a barrel nut in there. So nice thing is they've got these ports that cover the unused sections of key mod. Kind of makes a nice tacky grip also for your support hand. And obviously there's a key mod accessory rail that you can move that to any position you wish on the, see, this would be 45 degree, and then on the sides. So you've got lots of different options there. The handguard goes past the gas block, which is adjustable, so if you're shooting suppressed, you can open the valve or close it to increase your performance. The barrel is 223-556, also known as the 223 Wild chamber, so you can fire both cartridges safely. And they do also make these chambered in 6.8, 300 Blackout, and 458 SOCOM, and 50 Beowulf. This barrel is fluted for weight savings. They do not flute the 458 or 50 Beowulf barrels because obviously the thickness of it. Alright, we're at the end of the barrel. This is an Allen Engineering muzzle brake. It's actually 2 parts. This rear part here is called the collar. So it's got this tapered end that interfaces with the Allen Engineering suppressor. So this is a great muzzle brake on its own. As you saw earlier shooting in the video, it does a great job at mitigating recoil. If you have an Allen Engineering suppressor, you can just unthread this bushing from the mount. This is the mount half, and thread the suppressor on there, and then it actually goes back here and interfaces with this collar and this taper to get a nice good seal. So you'll be able to use your suppressor and your muzzle brake in at the same time, and then remove your suppressor and still retain your muzzle brake without the use of any tools. If you wanted to use a regular muzzle brake, you can just unthread this mount, revealing the 1/2 by 28 threads of the barrel, and then or just using any of your other muzzle brakes. This muzzle brake is also more famously known for its appearance in the movie Lone Survivor, with those soldiers using Mark 12 SPRs. So it's a little bit got some airtime in Tinseltown. Alright, so that is the WGM-15 tabletop quick look. Now I'll tell you how I feel about the rifle as a whole. So what are my overall impressions of this rifle? Well, you can tell by the parts chosen that WGM Tactical and the staff that work there really care about AR-15s. They love America's favorite black rifle, and there's no parts on here that I would consider junk. There's nothing on here that I wouldn't love to put on a rifle of my own. So if you're in the market for an AR-15 that's better than just mil spec, check out the WGM-15. And to add to the sweetness of this rifle, check out the tactical case that comes with it. This is a Plano waterproof case. It's got all sorts of goodies that come with the rifle. Here's a look inside the Plano gun case that comes with the WGM-15 carbine and all the components. The foam has been plucked to make room for all the accessories. Obviously your WGM-15 carbine, a gun vault magazine lock. You insert this into the magwell of your AR-15. It acts as a bolt holdback or bolt catch, as well as you turn the key and it locks in there, preventing any magazines from being inserted. You just turn the key to unlock it and use a bullet button, or just use the magazine release to pop it out. Comes with a Gun Tech single point sling, 2 hex mags. These blue followers and the floor plate indicate that it's a 10-round limiter. It did come with orange freedom-loving 30-round follower and limiter. Comes with a magazine loader to assist in loading the magazines. A Otis gun cleaning kit, pretty comprehensive kit, all in one convenient circular package, as well as Eye and Ear Pro. The case is waterproof, has a O-ring seal. So you get this from your FFL and you should be all set to go to the range. You just need some ammo. Alright guys, that's my review. Thanks for sitting through it. Hope you found it informative. Also want to send out a big thanks to Bill at WGM Tactical for sending me this carbine to review. Head on over to their Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and look up WGM Tactical Precision Manufacturing. Give them a like and follow their photos of all their rifles that they're pumping out. Also, if you want to head on over to www.firearmsinsider.tv, you can read the written portion of this review, as well as check out other reviews that we're putting out on the Firearms Insider Network. Also, if you're interested in wearing some sweet PVC patches that are custom designed, check out patriotpatch.co, company that myself and Jacob Challen has just launched, where you can get some awesome PVC morale patches like this Gun Guy Radio patch. Go to patriotpatch.co and pre-order yours today.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.